with B-Bad and Brandon.
Yeah, that'll be us. So we're all
I see.
a handsome bunch of lads there.
Yeah. New look, new visuals.
It's sick. It's like, if you're not watching,
They can't see that screen.
yeah, if you're not watching, obviously.
No point pointing at it, is there? That was silly.
But if you're not watching, we have some upgrades. New couch, new banner,
couch.
which I love.
Banner, yep.
Wait, is that a
That's from Westside.
Westside?
Yeah.
Right.
Weak Things Break, Louis Simmons.
Fucking OG, RIP.
Rest
Awesome
in
out
peace.
for
He's looking
me.
down upon us, happy that we're now sitting under his words.
I think he would be,
now.
to be fair.
Good words.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, one of my clients gave it to me for a little Christmas present, which is lovely. She was like, I think I know where you're going to put this. She says, you could put it in the gym, but I reckon I know where you want to put it. I was like, fuck yeah, at the back of the podcast.
Yeah, it's like, I think that is probably one of the best.
100%. Looks fucking cool.
It does.
So we were up. Jaylee was super stoked. Like, we put this together last night, and she was really happy that we were doing it after dinner before bed and being up late.
Oh, so I was like, there's sarcasm there.
She was stoked.
Yeah.
I was like,
I said it was going to be fun, and she was searching for the fun. So I don't think she found it.
No, but like, okay, so we have our couches from IKEA.
Yeah.
Have you ever put a couch from IKEA together?
The last one, bro.
Was that from IKEA?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was Kogan. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
But I have done an IKEA one.
Bro, they're fucked.
I was surprised at how many boxes it came in when I bought my couch. I was just hoping like one couch, one box.
Literally. Same. And then I walked home and Nicola just looked at me like, yeah, sorry.
Good luck.
Sorry. She literally just was like, I didn't know.
Did you get it done?
We got it done. But then, like, it just, you want to enjoy it, but you're so, because you have to put like the material over everything. And I was like, fuck this. But it's a comfy couch, I will say that.
Yeah, that's
and
nice.
then we can buy different colors for it and interchange things.
Yeah, right.
So it is cool.
That's the cool thing about IKEA.
100%.
Once you get through
The building.
Oh, bro.
The building bit is not the cool bit.
No. Anyone who takes pleasure in that.
Oh, man, they're lying. It's like people who say tattoos don't hurt. It fucking hurts.
Oh.
And putting IKEA together sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, how, because you got tats as well, don't you?
Only a couple.
Yeah. I don't know how, like, you just
boys.
went through your whole back.
Drugs.
Drugs.
It was drugs.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So it helped. a lot.
I'm actually like
for the first 5 hours, and then when they wore off,
I'm actually put off getting tattoos after getting my elbow done.
just take drugs.
Oh, see, I didn't. I should have.
I've got Pete's name and date of birth on the ribs.
Oh,
Connor's now 5 years old, and I haven't got his.
Come on, Daddy.
Yeah.
When are we getting that one on there?
Where's my name?
it's going to be an honest conversation when he's like 18, whatever, old enough to get his own tattoo, and go, all right, you go now, you get a tattoo, and then you'll understand why I don't have your name.
Yeah.
Right there. That's fucking funny.
Damn, ribs suck.
Ribs would suck.
Yeah. I nearly tapped out about 7 times.
See,
Alicia's just sitting there laughing at me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good support, honey.
Yeah.
I think, like, Johnny, you probably know, because, like,
I haven't done my elbow.
you haven't, but, like, up here, that's fine.
Good times.
I fell asleep during all that. Just on the shoulder bone hurt a little.
Yeah. And they start there, and then they get to the body bits.
When everyone said, like, up in your armpit was the worst. I actually didn't.
Sucks.
It sucked, but it wasn't bad. The wrist and the fucking elbow, I honestly just had my head down in the, like what are the massage table
happy
thingies?
place.
Bro, it was not happy. I was just like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Just get it fucking done. Like, I had my headphones in. Just maybe she won't see me cry. But
I promise I'm falling asleep, but passing out from the pain.
oh, bro, it honestly put me off getting any more for a while, which is probably good for my bank balance.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Oh, bro,
I actually got a quote for Connor's name just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh god.
When I got Heath's done, it cost me $150. They want $450 for the same size.
Got that inflation, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, how bad is it? How bad is it? Inflate like
Got that inflation. There it is.
I don't know too much about like economics and all that stuff, but
Tattoos cost more.
Yeah.
There it is.
Bro, like even our awards night, like from last year to this year alone, like just the simple things as banners, the awards themselves went up nearly double, and I'm like,
things cost more.
yep, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know that, Ron Combs.
Yeah, things cost
Oh,
more.
bro.
Yeah, I stopped counting when we'd spent 13 grand. for a deadlift comp as well.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Well, as we get into what you do, what the fuck those
Oh,
things
bro,
cost?
yeah.
What the hell is that thing worth?
They add up
Fucking hell, that's
very quickly.
a whole different animal.
Yeah. And then anyway, we should probably find out about.
Yeah, we should probably get to it. Like, we spent usual 5 minutes shit talking, and then
That's perfect.
21 words. Who you are, what you do.
actually,
Brando gets to count them. Any side note?
we all know Joey Cantlin.
Yeah.
But I was talking to him this morning. He's like, where are you going? I was like, oh, potty. He's like, we've got Stu on. He's like, man, I'm still rattled from that first 21 questions you asked me. I'm like, it's been 2 years, bro.
He's still trying to come.
He's still trying to get come down from the anxiety.
Yeah.
But
He's come up with a better one probably 400 times.
I wonder how many people stewing it after. No pun there. But
why didn't I say that?
yeah, why didn't I say this or that? Well, it's your fault for not prepping. Anyways, Stuart O'Brien, 21 words, all sounds, who you are, what you do. Go.
Uh-oh.
Full panic, and this is great. Go watch the YouTube, guys. Go watch the YouTube.
This is gold. Yep.
Right,
So-
6. Yep. 8.
One of the 4 founders of Natural Bodybuilding Australia. Promote comps, natural bodybuilding comps in East Coast of Australia, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the 4 guys who do
Yeah,
everything,
right.
basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
one,
big.
you went well over 21, but we gave you 8 bonus words. That's okay.
Yeah, a couple extra ones.
Couple
New
extra.
year.
New year, new us. That's a big job. And that's that's an understatement.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah.
Like, it is a big job, but it's doing the same thing lots of times.
Yeah, right. So you've got a process now where you can
And it's, you run a small powerlifting comp to a big powerlifting comp. You're still doing the same processes.
Just more things.
Just more things.
more people.
It's the same with bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And just more people.
Yep.
A little bit
And
closer.
you're East Coast, so
Yeah.
we're talking Brizzy, Queensland.
Yeah. So we've got Brizzy, Sydney, Melbourne, and Hobart.
Nice.
Where we are at the moment.
Yep.
Looking to move into South Australia, WA,
Yep.
over the next year or so.
Yep.
So So myself and Nick, one of the other founders, look after Queensland.
Yep.
There's 2 guys who look after Sydney.
Yep.
And then I look after Victoria and
Yeah,
Tasmania
wow.
as well myself. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Lots of travel.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
How many comps a year would that be? Like all
So
up?
at the moment, 10 a year.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah,
And is that
in 2 seasons?
is it like, if to put it into powerlifting terms, like some local stuff and then some state level stuff and then some big level stuff, or what does that kind of look like?
So the way bodybuilding sort of runs, there's 2 seasons a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone does, a couple of comps very
Yep.
close together because 20 weeks prep,
Yep.
etc. So season A, or the start of the year, the earlier comps are more sort of local comps,
Yep.
but then filter into a national comp
Yep.
still. And then the end of year, there's some local regional comps, state titles,
Yep.
and then a nationals as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So you're kind of running like almost 2 nationals.
Yeah. So
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd almost want to run it that way, because if you got guys competing in the first half of the year and you don't expect them to prep another 20 weeks straight
Yeah,
away.
it's very rare that people
Would
do both and do well in both.
Yeah, right.
Some, prep for season A don't quite hit the mark.
Mm.
So then they go back to the drawing board and get it right the next season.
Yeah, right.
That happens a little bit.
Yep.
But if you nail it, it's a roughly 20 weeks between the last show of season A and the first show of season B.
Yeah, right.
So you've got no time in between.
To even
Literally,
recover.
Yeah, you're not recovering, you're not getting your body back to normal
Yeah.
and then
right.
dieting again. You're
Mm.
just staying in that
Deficit
Comp
for so
deficit
long.
forever.
Damn,
and that's
that's a
not
lot of
healthy.
salad.
No.
Yeah.
A lot of salad.
Yeah.
It is.
Fuckload of salad.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool. So how old's the federation? And
So-
what brought it about? How did
So
you start?
we've been around 5 years,
Yep.
I think, 2018.
Mm.
So we were all involved with another federation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The owner sold to someone else.
Uh-huh.
we just didn't see eye to eye with the new owner. So we decided to leave and do our own thing. Essentially.
Yeah. And were you running comps and stuff back then? And so, pretty heavily involved?
Yeah. So Nick and I were the Queensland. Nick was the promoter. I was the head judge in Queensland. The guys in New South Wales were the national head judge and one of the promoters down there. And we just decided to
get together.
You might as well
together and
just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Was it a smooth transition, or was there a bit of backlash?
There was a lot of backlash. It was not smooth at all. It was a divorce as such.
And what drew you to bodybuilding? Obviously, like, I know you from the days of powerlifting. Were you bodybuilding before that?
Yeah, so I was bodybuilding before that. I started bodybuilding nearly 20 years ago. So
this also makes sense if you're watching it. We just discussed off air that Stu's actually a lot older than he looks. So when he says 20 years ago, he was probably just a normal age.
Basically. So finished playing footy. I was playing league when I moved to Brisbane. Played one game, hurt my shoulder.
Classic.
Realised that work's kind of more important than footy. Did all the things that footballers do, drinking, eating, without the training. Got huge. I was huge. Not in a good way. And went to the local PT studio and to do a 12-week challenge to get rid of all of that. The trainer there was prepping for a comp himself, saw the comp, went, cool, I want to try this. And
right.
The rest's history.
That's crazy.
So,
That's awesome, though, because like I guess a lot of people get into the bodybuilding have that exposure from very young, and it's something they really just continually do for their whole life. But you kind of came in a little bit later and just went like, no, I'm going to go kill this.
Yeah, it's half-half. Yeah. A lot of people is that life-changing, and then a lot have been exposed forever. So
that's sick, man. And then how'd you get into powerlifting?
From there, I used to own the ASN store at Chermside. Employed a manager who was in powerlifting. He kind of twisted my arm to give it a try. I'd actually probably 3 to 4 years earlier been and watched Nathan Wallace and Scott compete at the first ever GPC Nationals. They were going head to head. And I remember watching that and thinking, fuck, I want to give this a go, but I'm just not quite strong enough. I'm not quite there. 4 years later, I was as strong as I was because I was training for bodybuilding, not actually powerlifting. Finally gave it a go, and surprise, surprise, like everyone says, I got strong enough. Because I trained to be strong.
So, and
like
not just like you're still on that board at Valhalla. Name still ticking along there.
Still.
Ooh, which one's he on?
The all-time 330 squat, if I'm not mistaken.
327.
327? What'd you bench?
177. So I've just been knocked off.
I was going to say you'd just been knocked off, but your dead's still kicking along.
Dead's still there at 312.
Damn.
Fucking hell. You've done like, you went through states, national, you didn't compete at Pro Raw?
Yeah. So I did Pro Raw 7.
PTC, that's right.
Yeah, that was the last one before Arnold's.
That's right.
Was invited to Arnold's, but I hurt my back at Pro Raw 7. And just didn't recover in time to do the one at Arnold's, and then haven't been back since.
That's fair. And now back, have you been back on the bodybuilding stage, or do you have any plans to ever get back?
The toes are starting to get a little bit itchy, but running the comps and competing at the same time, I don't know how logistically it would work. So
it's a nightmare.
It might happen. I'm not going to say never, but I don't know how yet.
And I guess for a federation that's still so young, like what's only 4 or 5 years, we don't count COVID year because that fucked everything. But take that out, it's still only very early stages against federations that have been around for so long. So it's understandable that you want to just push that.
So that's it.
Fucking oath.
Good thing about bodybuilding and powerlifting, you can do it when you're old. So
100%.
I can when I'm ready, probably do both again. I'd like to do it while the kids are still young enough to think Dad's cool. which isn't too long. So, you know,
when you say Heath's 9, mate, you got another couple of years at max.
So, you know,
deadlift comp
the clock's running.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, your kids did the Deddy comp, didn't they?
Yeah, so Heath did the deadlift comp.
Yeah.
So
that was awesome.
This year we'll lock you in as well.
Yeah.
Little father-son deadlift.
So, have a small problem of a elbow that won't straighten out. So
we'll let the ref know.
Can't deadlift very well anymore, but
it's fine.
It's fine. Send all your straps. We're fine.
Yeah.
We'll let the ref know.
We'll work it out.
We'll work around you.
Yeah.
Easy, bro. And so Natural Bodybuilding
Australia.
Yep. So tested.
Yes.
For everyone.
Yep.
What's that kind of look like for everyone?
So we do it. Every overall winner at every comp gets tested.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then random testing if there's suspicion or if we've got the budget to do a few extra tests.
Yep.
You know, we'll add extras in there. Often, you know, if the overall's close, we'll test the person who's second as well because if the person wins, fails, you want to have tested the person that's close. So, you know, there's things like that as well. So,
do people ever get affronted by it?
In the whole time I've been involved, there's been one person who was very obviously not happy and actually refused her test. Surprise, never competed again.
Maybe they're playing on the wrong team.
Highly likely, you know, without casting dispersions. But most people are actually in natural bodybuilding are happy to be tested.
Because it says it in the title.
It's kind of that, obviously, like that kind of badge of honor that almost, you know, they wear it like that.
Yeah, everyone says X person's fake, natty, etc. So
it's the biggest hashtag.
If you're not, and you get tested, and you get to prove that you're not,
100%.
That's a good thing.
And that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we've done to separate ourselves from the other federations is we do more testing than any of the others.
Yeah, that stuff's not expensive. That is expensive to do. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it is.
Per test, like, do you know roughly how much? If you can say.
Yeah, it's in the around $400 a test.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
so if buying in bulk as such can get a little bit cheaper.
Yep.
So
it's
not cheap.
Not cheap.
It's interesting. So in bodybuilding, roughly 7 or 8 years ago, ASADA, the Australian WADA, actually told all the bodybuilding federations, you guys are taking the piss. You're not doing enough testing. We don't want to be, we don't want to be associated with you. So you do your own testing. While that sounds like it was a bad thing, it actually was a good thing because independent testing's cheaper. So an ASADA test or a WADA test through them was $1,000 a test.
Fuck.
So
how the fuck do you afford that?
How do we have 9 overall winners. I'm not spending $9,000 a show on testing.
Just testing.
And that's just testing 9 people.
That's the 9, not the randoms and the other people that are floating around.
It has created that ability where we could go to the market, find labs that do exactly the same test under exactly the same protocols, but don't charge you government money through the roof. So we can actually test more and better.
That's insane.
Yeah. And I imagine that'd be something you guys are proud of as a federation.
Yeah.
Well, as you said before, it separates you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It actually allows you to show that your athletes are doing what they're supposed to under that federation.
Yeah. So, it's one of the reasons people like to choose us as their federation of choice.
Well, it's grown a massive popularity, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And what do you put that down to? Is it because of those standards you operate as from the top level down, or is this something that you've implemented to going to the coaches directly and going, come support us because this is what we do?
It comes from a couple of angles. Firstly, a lot of athletes know that testing doesn't happen at X shows, and get jack of that, and want to go to a show where they know the playing field's actually level.
It drives you bonkers if you rock up to a show like that and you've worked your guts out and you feel like you're in a good shape or whatever you call it over in your world, and then you rock up on stage and old person X next to you is clearly not, and you go down to them. That's going to drive you bonkers.
Yeah,
particularly when there's a place for that person, isn't there? There's feds that are not tested, right?
Exactly.
So go and play there.
Yeah, just like powerlifting, bodybuilding's got untested and tested federations. And look, I love untested bodybuilding like I love untested powerlifting. They're great to watch. They're great to be part of.
Yeah.
But not in my comps.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, go for it. Have fun. I'll be there watching.
Yeah.
But, we're in the tested world, so we'll play in that world.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people got to understand, like, it's your choice as well. Like, do you get much backlash when people think that someone on gear, they test that they aren't from your testing, and they still go, nah, that's wrong?
There's always rumors.
Really?
Every show that someone will come up to me and afterwards and say, oh, that person does this, does that, whatever. Whether I've tested them or not.
Right.
At the end of the day, like, can only trust the testing process. We do. So bodybuilding has amateur and professional. While the professionals aren't paid professionals, you win a pro card. You're a professional bodybuilder. Anyone who's one of our pro athletes signs a contract to be tested anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, right.
So,
that's cool. That's really good.
If they're going to play that game, they're taking risks.
Right.
They're a decent chance of being found out.
Yeah, right.
And having been around the world long enough, I can see the signs. If I see the signs, I'll test someone. So
it's not rocket science anymore. When you get enough, when you're exposed to it long enough, and you've been in the industry long enough, you know.
Yeah.
And did you find many people? Has anyone, I don't know if you can say, has come back and failed it during that time?
So since we've started as NBA, we've had 2 people fail.
Yep.
So what's actually surprising to most people is they were both females in bikini and fitness categories.
Yeah, wow.
So, and where that comes from is the rumours that these divisions don't get tested because you don't need to be that big, etc. So it's actually where, statistically, we've caught the most people. Because they think they can get away with it. Yeah, they think they're more chance of getting away with it.
Yeah.
And that's why we're open in saying every overall winner gets tested, whether you're a sports model, bikini,
that's crazy,
to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, wow.
So
I would not have expected that. Hey.
Yeah, so we do publicise when we catch someone.
Yeah. Oh, you do?
So,
nice.
it's so one federation does what they call a wall of shame. That person's there on that list forever, for life, after they fail. I think that's too much, because people make mistakes.
Make a bad decision.
We've all done it.
Yeah, you can do the right things, post those mistakes, and still be a good person.
Yeah.
So we don't need to cast aspersions on them 15 years later.
Yeah.
We do announce this person was caught, this is what they were caught for.
Yeah.
And if you look back on our Instagram, you've got to scroll back a little way now. Those announcements are still there. But we're telling everyone this is what happened and why.
Does that come with a ban?
Yes. So
I think that also creates like congruency in what you're saying and what you do, so people trust that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I like what you said though. XYZ, they made a mistake. They aren't a bad person. They just made a mistake.
Yeah.
But if you want to do that stuff, go to fucking IFBB, NABBA, whatever it is. NABBA's still around.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like,
the other one.
There's so many others.
Yeah. And have fun.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, great.
Yeah, good on you. I'll shake your hand.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Since we got you though, what is the biggest difference between like NABBA and IFBB?
So,
are they looking at the same thing?
Essentially, yeah. They've got slight differences in their judging criteria,
right?
But they're looking at bodybuilding's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
They're just it's like asking what the difference between GPC and Capo is.
Yeah. It's just different referencing and rules slightly. Yeah. Right. So, there you go.
Yeah.
And you guys, as your little group, set up because I'm always fascinated with how the hell you pick the person who wins.
Yeah.
I've been to some shows, and I'm scratching. I'm like, sometimes there's a clear winner. You're like, you look way better than fucking everyone else. Sometimes you're like, you fuckers all look the same.
Yeah.
How many judges do you have?
So every show we've got a minimum of 5 up to 7.
Yep.
So,
all watching the same event.
Yeah, all watching the same
Yep.
division event. And it's scored so, like I said, there's 9 different categories.
Yep.
In the girls, it starts at swimsuit,
Yep.
goes through to bodybuilding.
Yep.
Each division, they need to be slightly leaner than the previous and
Yep.
slightly bigger than the previous.
Yep.
So first thing we're looking at is if they fit the category they're supposed to be in.
Yeah.
If you get someone your size and muscularity turning up in a bikini division, we're not going to place you first just because you're the biggest on stage, because
too big.
Could be too big.
Yep.
So that's kind of the first thing. We're checking whether they're the right muscularity and condition for their division.
Yep.
And then essentially how I teach the guys, so I'm the national head judge, and how I teach the guys is compare every one of those people on the stage to what the pro champion of last year looks like, who's closest, and then work backwards from there.
Yeah.
So, Brandon's closest to the champion.
Yep.
You're very slightly smaller, very slightly.
This is very hypothetical. I'm
very
conditioned.
You fucking do well in the bikini division. Bro.
I would. I don't know. I don't know if you get marked for the amount of hair. If that was a mark, I'd probably win it. Yep. My back hair is phenomenal at the moment.
There's waxing to fix that.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take Johnny's motto there and fuck that.
Yeah, as we talked about pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
and then you guys, and then do you have things you score?
Yep. So we're scoring everyone first to last. It's just a total rank of who's got the best combination of the muscularity, symmetry, and condition.
Yep.
So you don't get a score for each and then it's added up.
Yep.
Right.
Because one, that would just take too long.
Yeah.
Two, the more you add complexity to it, the easier it is to get the wrong end decision.
Yeah.
So all 7 judges or 5 rank their first to last, and that's tabulated. So if all 5 are the same and everyone has one person first, they're easy. First. That's easy. If it's a 3-2 split, then it goes points. So the least points is the winner. The most points is last.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Do you often get agreements across the judge panel, or is it can be a bit?
It's some categories. Some shows I've had where there's one disagreement in the whole division. Others, it's all over the place.
Seven different ideas.
Yeah. So, it is subjective sport. It is each person's opinion of what's on stage. But they're going to the criteria set by the federation and they're led by the head judge. So, that's
like another thing. It's like when people blow up, saying, I was this leaner than that person, whatever, if they don't win, it's like you signed up to be subjectively looked at. This is the case. Just deal with it.
Is it hard to get continuity between the states then? So like if you've got your 7 here in Queensland and then the 7 down in New South Wales, but if you put the same 10 people in front of each group of judges,
and that's another one of the things we separate from the other federations, where I head judge every show.
Right.
So, which helps create that continuity.
Yeah, of course.
I'm leading the panel, leading the discussions.
So the judges actually chat with each other.
So there's discussion between the judges. Everyone puts down their own position, own placings based on their opinion. But I can talk to the person either side of me and say, what do you think of that? What do you think of that? It's all done super quickly, obviously.
The next thing I was going to say, because when I've been to a show, person walks out, sometimes either by himself or in a group, they prance around and walk around for a little bit, and then they're gone, right? Like they're not there for very long for your eyeballs to decide that that's your horse.
So, and in most cases, and like I said, I've been around the sport 20 years, by the time people have walked out and hit their first pose, I know roughly what I'm looking at. So they've then got the rest of the division to make me change my mind. But I've generally got the decision on that first pose there and then. So, it is all about your presentation from the second you're on stage to the second you walk off stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely
First
that first
matter.
impression matters a lot.
Yeah.
And what happens, like, obviously in those bikini divisions, especially, like, where the popularity just grew so quickly, and you've got, I've been to commentators, I don't know how you guys run it, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but if you've got 20 to, I've seen fucking nearly 40 people on stage at a time, like, how is that process?
Yep. So again, that first impression helps us decide who we want to look at further, and then they do what's called a call out.
So we kick you out. Sorry,
so we'll if there's 20, we'll use that as the number. We'll look at the first line of 10.
Yep.
Go, those 5 we like, those 5 aren't quite as good.
Yeah.
We'll look at the next line of 10. There might be 4 we like out of that line and the rest aren't as good.
Yep.
Then we'll pull those 9 together in a call out and compare that.
Right.
We might whittle that down to 5 that we look at even closer.
Yep.
And then,
we may make the decision from the 9.
Yep.
It just kind of depends. And that's where bodybuilding shows can blow out in time. If there's a really hard decision, you could be on stage for half an hour making that decision.
Yeah, right.
If it's really easy, you could be on stage 3 minutes.
Right.
So predicting before the show how long it's going to go for isn't always easy because you don't know what divisions are going to be hard to choose and what isn't.
Yeah.
Damn.
So, it's generally over the show it averages out to a consistent
time.
10 minutes a division, but some of those will be 5 minutes, some will be 15, some will be even longer.
It's funny how, like, we've all chosen sports that we put so much time in for a total of nearly 10 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
Or on the platform.
Yeah.
And sometimes not even that.
Yeah.
Sometimes longer. But it's I just find that so ironic that we put in these 20-week preps and we get 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If, they may do a couple of divisions.
Yeah. So
it's insane, eh?
Yeah. It is crazy how long people put into it.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got to give them the respect of
100%.
making sure we do it right.
Yeah.
Get judges that know what they're looking at.
Yep.
Judge it properly. Don't have the MC telling the judges what they think.
Yeah.
As an example.
Oh, wow. That's something that happens.
Yeah. And, or, coaches on the judging panel because, ex-coach is then biased to their own clients.
Right.
You've got to do those things right to show the clients that level of respect.
Yeah, you couldn't have a coach. You couldn't have a coach of anyone in that thing that's like the event, like on the judging panel.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I say that
tricky.
and you look at that like, oh my God, how crazy is that?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, right.
We don't let it happen, but in other shows it does happen.
Yeah, right. So that, like, how could you, even if you tried your little heart out to not rank your person?
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I've watched it and some coaches will be biased towards their clients.
Oh, they could get
some coaches go the other way and mark
Extreme.
their own clients harder because they know their weaknesses.
Yeah.
On a bodybuilding stage, not only are you showing us your strengths, you're hiding your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So if I already know your weaknesses, you can't hide them from me. So
like, I know his back's not the best.
Yeah.
Turns around. No brainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So it does no one justice having their own coach on stage.
Yep.
And even if everything is legit and above board and that coach is the best judge in the country, all the other competitors go, but what if?
Yeah, exactly right.
So the perception becomes the reality.
Yeah.
So it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Right? So we've got a straight out rule. Like Joey, you mentioned earlier, does judge for me.
Yep.
If any of his clients are on stage, he's walked off the panel.
Yeah,
and it's not just
put someone else into that division or whatever.
Yeah. So, or depending on the circumstances, I'll replace one, or I'll just run one less judge for the division.
Of course.
So it's circumstance dependent there.
Yeah,
but no one they won't even sit at the table because
so they can't.
If you're sitting there next to me, not judging with your arms folded, but you're still chatting to me about things, you could influence my opinion.
Yeah. Whether it's deliberate or non-deliberate, you can still be saying it.
Yeah. So step off the table. Don't even be there.
Yeah.
Again, perception's reality.
Yeah.
So no one can say that person influenced the judges.
Yep. Yeah,
right.
nice. And that just keeps, upholds the reputation that you guys are driving, or seeming to drive through your federation.
Yeah.
Having all of that stuff.
Yeah. So they're the things that we've kind of set up to be our points of difference and have that reputation of being the fairest, the most fun, etc.
Are you constantly looking at what other federations, tested and non-tested, are doing, not just Australia but internationally, to help you guys raise your bar as well?
Yeah. So, first and foremost, I love bodybuilding. Yeah, love powerlifting too. Both sports differently, but I watch a lot of bodybuilding, and if something's good and I like it, I'll copy it.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say I copy things.
Yeah.
It's
why not?
Yeah, that's any business, any enterprise. If someone else is doing something better, great. I'll model that, or I'll look at it and go, I can do that, but twist it like this to make it even better again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's innovation, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's essentially, any business should be doing that. And
what example or what's something that you would ever say, I guess, looked at from another bodybuilding company and implemented?
So one of the things when we set up as Natural Bodybuilding Australia, so IFBB in the bikini divisions, all the girls do what's called an eye walk, and as their entry to the stage, and the way their stage is set up with diagonal lines.
Right.
So a lot of the whole stage setup is set up for, one, great judging, but two, also to give the best visual aspects of the show. And we looked at that and went, we want to look like that. We twisted it a little bit to make it our own. Yeah. But that's cool. That's one good example that I can think of off the top of my head.
That's really cool though, because I'd never never really looked at it as like, obviously even them walking out in a certain way would have an impact on. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, some of the other feds, in bikini as an example, if there's 20 in the lineup, all 20 walk on together, all 20 walk to the front line together. They don't get that time on their own, where we're looking at each of them individually and then as a group. So, we've essentially copied that.
Yeah, right. And as always, you have an audience, right? You want to try and entertain them.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, entertaining the audience is a big part of what we're trying to do.
And that's what's essentially going to grow the sport, isn't
it? People come and watch generally to watch their friends only. Like the majority of spectators are there because of someone they know on stage. It's very rare that someone sees a poster for a bodybuilding comp and goes, I'm going to look at
this
that
weekend. Let's go.
Not unless you're us.
It's pretty unusual.
Yeah.
So the people are there for a short period of time. They might, their friend might be on 3 times over the space of 2 hours.
Yep.
You want to entertain them for that 2 hours, so they either go, I want to do that, or I had fun, I'll come back again.
Yeah. Or maybe stay back for an hour.
Yeah.
Buy a T-shirt and do whatever else is,
That's cool. It's so true though. Like you mentioned buying a T-shirt. Like if they have a good time and then they buy a T-shirt, that's fucking free promotion for you.
Yeah.
And they'll be your walking billboard going, went to this fucking bodybuilding show. It was great. I didn't even think it was going to be fun. And it was like all this entertainment. Yeah, that's sick.
Buy a T-shirt, have some beers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
It's all part of the whole big
experience.
picture.
Making it the show. And then if there's more people cheering and having a great time, that's a better experience for the person who's coming out and showcasing themselves.
And that is the hardest thing in bodybuilding is holding a crowd and getting good noise.
Yeah.
So, it's and I'll admit it's something I've got to get better at.
Yep.
But we're working on things to do that.
Yeah.
So,
and what is the future plans for NBA?
So like I said at the start, we're looking at growing to the rest of Australia.
Yep.
So that's stage one, and then looking at long term finding a good federation internationally to be. associated
Yeah,
with.
right.
So,
Yeah, that was going to be a question. Like, do you guys, is it a bit like powerlifting? Do you associate with a world body or something like that? Is that something that people do?
So, generally in bodybuilding, there is a world federation that, associated with.
Right.
When we set up, we did associate with the federation in the US. They decided post-COVID to move their nationals, their world titles to August, which just doesn't work based on the Australian calendar. So, we haven't continued that. And at the moment, we're just concentrating on being the best in Australia. If someone wants to go to one of those international shows, they'll compete in one of the shows that allows them to and do our show as well. So that's sort of been our philosophy now, is just be the best in Australia. So everyone wants to do our show, and then the international stuff will come. That'll come, at the right time.
Because when would
the right opportunity pops up?
If you do your nationals you'd want to do your worlds pretty close to it, right?
Yeah, so
like super close.
Yeah, so in Australia, everyone runs their nationals sometime in October.
So you'd want to be going in November, October.
So worlds are in most federations are in the US because population, and they're usually late October through to late November. So it's finding and there's a few good federations over there. So it's I've looked at a few options, and we'll keep looking and talking behind the scenes until the right opportunity comes up.
So you've got the pathway that you guys agree with. Yeah, that's super cool.
Does the international have to have the same rules as you guys, or will it be just something that you can associate with to have that world, but it might be one or two slight variations?
Generally, that's the slight variations. That's the way most of them work. Australia has some unique things that kind of only happen in Australia. So the swimsuit division, as an example,
classic Australian.
Really, we're the only one with swimsuits.
So
it makes sense.
Sports model was a division that sort of started in Australia. Some federations are doing it, some aren't. So there's some Australianized things. We've got more divisions, more options than a lot of the world ones. So,
but then people just narrow into whatever suits them.
If you're a sports model and you want to go to worlds, you might compete in bikini at worlds, but their criteria is slightly bigger bikini than what we look at as an example.
Right.
So
that's sick. It's really cool.
So
that's good things on the horizon for NBA.
So that's
the popularity's growing really quickly. Like from you original 4 to, I think I saw one photo and there's probably like at least 30 of you on that stage.
Every show there's 15 to 20 people behind the scenes helping organise it.
Because there's a lot that goes on.
Backstage crew, judges, trophy presenters, MC, DJ. There's a lot behind the scenes to all make it work. But
all those things that people don't see.
Lighting.
Lighting be a big one.
Lighting's massive. So and expensive.
That shit not cheap.
So
you both would know.
Getting good lighting is hard
because that showcases the human that you're trying to judge. Is that
and
but also provides
the angle of the light.
That's everything.
Changes everything. Like you can change a light by 2 degrees angle, and someone's got shadows all over them instead of being fully lit up. So getting lighting technicians that understand that is actually difficult because most of them, most lighting technicians don't do bodybuilding very often. They're used to concerts, bands, etc. So
it matters a lot less.
So explaining that and explaining it has to stay exactly like this the whole day is actually not as simple as it sounds. But then we want these cool fun bits in between and so it gets we have like a 4-hour meeting a week or 2 out with the lighting person explaining all the intricate details and then go through it again on the day to check that they're actually doing everything right and make sure it's right. And that also then comes down to photographer has the best eye of the people in the place on what's good and bad lighting. Photographers are trained in lighting a lot better than I am.
Yep.
So then on the day, the photographer's usually talking with back and forward with the lighting person going, that's good, that's not good, etc. So
right. I didn't even think of that aspect either. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
There'd be, like, as an athlete, not just how lean and how good you look outside or in the gym. There's a lot of things that go into, like you said, showcasing your strong points and then hiding your weak points on stage.
Yeah. That's why there's professional posing coaches who do nothing but teach people how to pose, because what you do in the gym is very important.
Yeah.
But if you present it well or present it badly, can still make the difference.
Yeah.
So
you could be the most conditioned, best looking human outside of that off
Walking
that stage,
around,
but if you don't know how to show it, you're going to get smashed.
Such a different animal, eh?
So
Damn. Do you ever see that happen a bit where you see someone, you're like, you just fucked it today?
Yeah. Quite often, especially in back poses.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you've got a back there, but you're just not showing it to me.
Yeah.
And, depending on the show, you might give them a bit more time, go through that pose a few extra times, hoping that they actually do get it right.
Yeah.
But, quite often they don't.
And you're just like, damn, you messed that one up.
Yeah. And that's the hardest feedback to give someone post-show. Anyone who doesn't win wants to know why a lot of the time. And, saying you lost because you didn't pose well is one of the hardest ones to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you've got a better physique, but you didn't show it.
Damn. So that feedback, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So an athlete can come up to the judge or say,
most shows I'll have 20 to 30 people afterwards. And
are they just coming to you as the head judge, or
so they come. Usually it's by email a week later.
Fuck, how do you remember them?
It's a process in itself. It's like when I'm doing that, it can take up to an hour per person. I'm looking at the video, looking at photos. Looking at the notes I had, looking at the other judges' notes.
There's some notes.
Fucking hell, bro.
Feedback.
Do they receive the feedback well?
Mostly. Yeah.
It's a bit like powerlifting.
Yeah.
I just ringing up. It's tricky about them red lights on those squats. Just want to chat to you about that. Well, actually, if you squatted lower, you wouldn't have seen them. You would have got white ones.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's pretty simple.
Everyone's
really.
Squat deep. I was well. The 3 people who judged you that day didn't. They said you squatted high. You get the red ones.
It's one of the things that drew me to powerlifting for a while was just being away from that subjectivity. And I've refed. I'm a Cat 2 GPC ref, so I've refed and judged. And it's as hard mentally concentrating a whole day on. Is that deep enough? Is it, all the rules around? But it's so much less subjective. It's still a person's opinion whether you got deep enough or not. 100%. But it's a whole, it's not a comparison between two people squatting at the same time and saying that one got deeper than that one. So
it's very much, this is the rule. Get to it. Simple.
Do you ever see many powerlifters like kicking around in the bodybuilding scene?
There is a lot of crossover both ways. A lot of bodybuilders, a lot start in bodybuilding and then find powerlifting more so than the other way around. But it does happen both ways. So
there's a few crazy humans.
You train weights long enough, you start wondering
what the other person's doing. You can't not get jacked without going, how strong can I actually be? And as you know, every bodybuilder that's come across is always strong. You've got great muscle adaptation.
And your ability to work.
Oh, that's the biggest difference.
We've all got the ability to work, but you guys fucking work.
And they look at a set of 8 or a set of 6 like, oh, yeah, that's easy. You give a powerlifter a set of 8, it's fucking cardio. Shut up. Everyone's lungs hurt.
You must see a lot. Do you see a lot of variation between training ideals and styles? Coach to coach. And
do you ever look at someone and just go, what the fuck?
But that's not my job. So and there are lots of good coaches out there. There are lots of not so good coaches out there, but it's not my job to decide who's good or bad as a coach. It's to judge their competitors on stage.
And it's probably not even like, I guess, the training plan as such, but those peak week protocols and things like that that probably do your head in more so.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and same in powerlifting, there's a lot of old school ways that everyone used to do that worked despite, the science. So people copied them, and it's the same in bodybuilding. There's a lot of old school things that worked even though they shouldn't have, that get copied and still used today. And then there's a lot of people who look at the science and go, this is a better way to do it.
What would be one that stands out for you that like you just beating your head against the wall, people still doing it, and you see them do it?
Probably the biggest one is excessive water loading, cutting salt, those sort of things.
And that's to try and get water off them on the stage. When they're on the stage, they dried out. So to speak.
And they're too dehydrated and are actually flat rather than dry. And for making weight for a powerlifting comp, it doesn't matter what you look like, so you can go as hard as you want. As long as you don't kill yourself. Wish people take risks that are close to that happening. But for a bodybuilding comp, you need to be lean and look good.
Oh, and you have to make a weight class.
Well, there are weight classes in some categories. So
anytime I've cut weight, I did not look good.
Exactly.
Well,
hungry,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I think you look great.
Thank you.
Well, last time I tried to cut weight for a powerlifting comp, I did not look good either.
I just felt sad, hungry, and wanted a Tim Tam.
Fucking hell.
Hours walking in a sauna suit and things like that.
We've been there.
I can't imagine trying to flex on stage after that.
I mean, like powerlifting, if you overdo the weight cut, particularly like are you guys 2 hour weigh-in or 4 hour weigh-in or something?
Day before.
So 24 hour weigh-in.
Yeah.
But if you fuck that up and you look flat, fuck, that's you done.
Yeah. Well, they've got time to refeed and all of that as well. But
if they fuck that up because they push one thing too far.
Yeah.
Same as powerlifting, old mate cuts a kilo too much or does it a bit too silly, and then the next day they're on the stage and lifting and everything's heavy. It's like,
it's such a fine line.
Oopsies.
That's where I guess those older protocols, old school protocols, just there's no space for it now when we have the science to promote a healthier way in terms of like looking better, but also performance.
Must be just better educated coaches out there, right? Coaches with education.
That's the big one.
Actually getting behind it.
And nutrition wise in both powerlifting and bodybuilding, that's the biggest thing I've seen change over the time is there's more qualified people that actually know what they're talking about with nutrition involved in both sports than what there was 20 years ago.
Chicken and rice.
Still see people doing it.
Just eat your chicken and rice. And no flavour. Now, brother, at the end of these things, we like to ask you 10 questions, not 21 questions. We could do 21 if you wanted.
Exactly.
They're super quick.
Cool.
First thing that come to your head. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
You're Neo in the Matrix. You can take the red pill or the blue pill, find out the truth or continue not knowing. What would you like to do?
Truth.
Yeah, truth is nice. Favorite lunch item?
Steak.
Oh, I do like the steak. Favorite movie setting you would like to live in?
No idea.
Your best advice you've ever been given?
Too many good ones to actually narrow one down.
Been given a lot of good advice.
Yes. And cannot pick one off the top of my head right now because I'm having a blank.
What question would you like to ask your pet that you currently own or have ever owned?
Why the fuck did you pee on the floor?
That's a good question.
Very fair.
Because pets are smart. They know it's the floor.
Yeah.
They know it's not outside.
Yeah. They know they're not meant to.
They know they're not meant to. What board game or card game do you excel at?
None. I'm shit.
You going to eat a cake or a pie?
Both.
A pie cake.
Oh, no one's ever answered with both. That's
Pie cake.
yeah.
Fuck, that's an evolutionary.
Why not both?
Literally.
Next tattoo?
We know what it's going to be. Connor's name before he's 18.
Before he's 18.
Yeah.
Favorite pizza?
Meat lovers.
Oh yeah, barbecue, tomato sauce,
Barbecue.
You gotta get barbecue, not meat lovers.
well played. You got 1 week to live. What are you doing?
Probably not much different to what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a good sign. You love what you do.
Yeah. That means things are good.
Yeah. Mate, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. I really need to work out how to put that.
Good potty.
It was a good one. But for those who wanted to reach out about, obviously, NBA, what you do, or just even maybe some help around pointing towards maybe a good coach, whatever you recommend, how can they get in touch?
Yep. So the Instagram is NBA Australia _official. Shoot us a message on there and go from there.
Awesome.
I got one question. Brando's been training some arms lately. He's been going heavy on the shoulders. If he gave us a flex, could you give us a judging comment on him? What do you think?
Nah, see, it's just I trained arms this
too,
morning.
would you say too big?
Needs work.
What division would he suit, do you think?
Swimsuit.
I'm getting Ronnie Coleman vibes here.
Oh, someone's not sleeping tonight. Me, because I'm too hyped up after that.
Yeah, lightweight.
That was a great way to finish this potty. Everyone's going to be like, why do you have a spring in your step now?
Stop